All right, let's continue with the In Crowd by Ramsey Lewis Jazz Piano tutorial. Again, it's really a tune you want to learn because there's not many tunes that feel like solos that are actually written out. And I transcribed it as best I could and put some sheet music together, and you can look forward to that sheet music a little bit later, along with a backing track that you can play with. And again, not a lot of people play this tune, so if you learn it and you play it for others, it'll probably be pretty impressive because it gets requested a lot, but not a lot of piano players know it. So definitely something that you want to learn. So in the last video, we tackled the introduction. And then we went on to do the first line of the tune. And now we're on to the third line, which is a bit of a duplicate of the second line, but I think there is a different finish to it. So in this line, it repeats the first two bars of the first line. And this is important because it's blues scale. This right here, this is a blues scale, because the blues scale is this. So it's, and then it slides from the G sharp, which is here, right? So normally when you slide notes, it's like up. In this case, it's coming down. And I think that's what he plays in the recording. Again, it's a little hard to hear because there's a lot of people talking in the background on that recording, but. And I think that's pretty close to what he plays. Now you could try to slide it like that. Just slide the third finger, or just play it like 3-2. Okay, let's just move on to the next line. And again, we played this from the first line, or the line that we just did. It's just the ending part. So just, I guess, third and fifth finger, 2 and 4. Let me write that in so that's obvious for you. We've got 5 and 3, and then 4 and 2. And then when we come down here, this is really just a D minor chord without the third. So it's 5 and 2, I would say. Now, we're getting into some tricky stuff with the G7. So we did the D7 for the first 8 bars. Right? And now we're getting into G7, just like any blues would do. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the answer is you've got to count off things. So this is 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4 and. And then you're resting on 1, and this is and, 2, and 3, and 4. So it's always on the ands. It's very syncopated. And this one is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's maybe a good idea to do each bar separately. Okay. Now, in terms of fingering, it's 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1 in each case. And I think it's interesting to catch these two notes in the left hand. I hear that in the recording. 1. and then it's going back, obviously, to D7 here in the next bar. Again, if you have any questions about that specific section, or you want to ask how to syncopate it, or maybe some other suggestions like how do you do this particular thing, or you can't quite figure it out, just post your comment below and I'll see if I can answer it for you. Okay, let's move on to the next line. So the interesting thing about this line is it's very sparse in terms of notes, but it's syncopated at the same time. So this would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So. And then the next bar is 1, and that's and 2 and 3 and 4. So again, and in the left hand, sorry, in the left hand you're doing the ands. So 1 in the left hand. Okay. So and then the next line is you're basically coming down from the F sharp to the F natural, like this. Now this is really tricky to do, so you might want to leave out some of those grace notes. I know, or I kind of think I hear him play that in the recording again. I transcribed this myself as close as I could get to what he was playing, and I'm obviously talking about Ramsey Lewis, but it is difficult to play. Here's what we're going to do. This note causes problems, so let's take that note out of there. So I would say, yeah, let's ixnay the grace notes for now, because well, actually catch the first one. That's a good idea. Catch the first one and then kind of X this one out here because it's a little difficult to play. So the whole line is 2, 3, 4. That. Going to take some work to get that one together, but it's the whole point of jazz, right? And that's why it's important to do this tune, because it's syncopated, and that's really what jazz is. It's going to help you a lot with your rhythm. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it for you, this section, so you can kind of hear how it sounds with the bass and drums backing track. After this little performance is finished, then I'm going to post a link to the sheet music and the backing track, so you can go download the sheet music and the backing track, follow these tutorials, and put it all together. It's going to take a little bit of work, but I think you can do it. It is definitely syncopated, and that's the hard part about it. I don't think the notes themselves are too hard, just kind of follows blues. So it's really about the rhythm. And when you're a great rhythm player as a piano player, that's what's really important. You're part of the rhythm section, and this is really a good way to get your rhythm together. Okay, let me play it for you now, and then I'm going to come back and give you the links. Okay, so there's a little bit of Ramsey Lewis's The In Crowd. I hope you enjoyed that. What I'm going to do now is post a link up here in the corner. Go to that page. There is a link to download the sheet music and the backing track. If you have any questions about this particular tutorial or the tune itself or anything to do with this song, please post it below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you actually learn it, I would love to hear a recording of it as well. All right, thanks so much for your time. In the next video, we're going to tackle the bridge of this particular tune, which is, again, a little more complicated, but I think you can do it. So let me get to the next tutorial, and I thank you for your time in this one. We'll see you next time.